Good morning to you once again on a Monday, kind of a dreary start, overlooking Our Lady of the Lake Sky 9 over in New Roads. And yeah, it's still pretty cloudy out there, but we should work in a little bit of sunshine later in the day. 49 feels like 45 when the winds are blowing out there, and they are blowing from 10 to 22 miles per hour right now. We've already seen wind gusts over 30 miles per hour, and it sounds cliche, but what a difference a day makes. Yesterday getting a record high in Baton Rouge, BTR recording 81 degrees, beating the old record of 80 set back in 2021, and the roller coaster ride definitely continues to go from that 81 degrees that we had yesterday to tonight's forecast low of 30 degrees, almost a 50-degree temperature swing in the wrong direction, and it looks like the cold air is here to stay, at least for the next couple of days, and that's why we've got multiple advisories. We have the cold weather advisory to the north, the wind advisory down to the south, and the separation point seems to be the I-10 and I-12 corridor. The cold weather advisory, remember, that's the new age wind chill advisory, so this tells us that we're going to have really cold wind chills overnight tonight, getting as low as I would say the upper teens to low 20s. That's when the wind's still blowing overnight. And speaking of the winds, we have the wind advisory in effect until 3 p.m. Again, we've already seen winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. These are the future wind gusts, and you can see even in the afternoon, the winds are still going to be breezy from time to time. It's really not going to be until well after dark tonight that the winds begin to relax, and they're still not going to completely die down. So I think it's smart that the National Weather Service has the cold weather advisory. We're still going to be seeing winds between 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that will make a difference. That's going to make these numbers feel a little bit colder. 30 degrees, that's where we should start things tomorrow morning, right around daybreak, and then Wednesday morning at 28. Now, standalone, these two numbers do not represent hard freezes, so this looks like a light freeze both nights. A lot of us have already wrapped our pipes, so if they're already wrapped, then you're good to go. If they're not wrapped, I think you can get away with leaving them unwrapped for this time around. The duration, 4 to 8 hours. That's on each of the next two freezes that we're expecting. Then, speaking of freezing temperatures, we know it's usually cold for New Year's Eve, and in the downtown area, I think it's going to be okay. It's still going to be cold. You're going to need the jacket, but we'll get down to the upper 30s right around the stroke of midnight, and then we get an overnight low in the 30s. That night will actually be above freezing, so relatively speaking, it won't be quite as bad. Cold front has already passed us by a few hours ago. There were a couple of light showers. You see them here. They were there about an hour ago. Now they're falling off the radar, and it looks like that's going to continue to be the deal. So the cold front extends all the way up to Canada, all the way back down to the Gulf Coast, and we're going to see the clouds eventually break up over the next couple of hours. We're not going to have a total clearing for today, but slowly but surely we're going to work these clouds out of here. But watch the temperatures. They're really not going to budge for today. I've got a high temperature in the low to mid 50s. That's going to be it. So where we are right now, we're not going to gain a whole lot of ground there. And then there's your light freeze, not only for the Baton Rouge area, but if you're watching up north in Macomb, even you guys, I know you're going to drop into the upper 20s. Still looks like a light freeze up there. So if the pipes aren't wrapped, you should be okay. And if they're already wrapped, then you're fine anyway. There you see the rain potential over the next 7 days, or the lack thereof. There's simply not going to be that much in the way of rain over the next 7. Okay, for the high for today, 55. We already hit that actually a few hours ago. I went ahead and I took away the chance of rain for the remainder of the day. A very slow, gradual clearing until we get our light freeze overnight tonight. In the downtown area, we're going to take it down to 30 degrees under mainly clear skies. Then in the all-important 7-day forecast, the roller coaster ride continues because, yes, we will be cold through the first half, but then look what happens on the back half of that forecast. As soon as New Year's Day, we open up the new year warming things up, and wouldn't you know, it'll be in the 70s by the end of the week.
On that Zephyr ride, Jerry.